Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews. My latest TV show for you that I'm going to review for you guys now here is a TV show called Briarpatch. This happens to be on the USA Network, and yes, USA Network actually does run shows that are not indeed professional wrestling. And for a very long time, the USA Network had a character slogan that sort of began with Monk and ended with Suits, and this is based on a novel by Ross Thomas, and this book was written in 1984. And I don't know how long this thing was in development for, but now it finally reached our TV screens here. Now, obviously, Network wants to go in a different direction than their mostly sunshine and rainbows TV shows as of late. They adapted a book called Dare Me, which I recently sat through, and I thought, okay, that was interesting but not particularly compelling. This is the same thing, interesting but not particularly compelling, and just like Dare Me, I don't necessarily think I want to see a second season. Allegra Dill, played by the always affable Rosario Dawson, comes to some Texas town. I forget the Texas town's name, my apologies for that. Her sister Felicity died in a car bomb. There was also a 10-year age gap between Allegra and her sister, and basically she was 17 and she was 7 when their parents died. And so basically Allegra's main idea was, okay, I'll ship her off to boarding school and that be that basically here. Of course, Felicity stayed in that town and eventually became a cop, as we see in the opening moments of the series. She comes down. Now the first thing we come to learn when she's coming into town is, oh yes, another bomber has opened up a side of the local zoo, and there are zoo animals running around. And I guess that's a recurring gag, and if you find that gag to be funny, when Allegra goes to the floor of her hotel room, there is also, I think, a type in that area, and that's sort of a payoff moment at the end of the series. And obviously, she meets up with a lawyer who I guess was Felicity's friend, and she meets up with another police person and a police captain. Well, you know, another police officer gets car bombed here. Now, all this leads to Allegra's friend Spivey, and in a sort of a recurring gag here, Spivey calls her Pickle. And basically, Spivey was working for this local gun runner who happens to be mysteriously disappeared many years ago and now has begun resurfacing, and he magically resurfaced here in this Texas town. And he's played by Alan Cummings, who, God bless Alan Cummings, he chews up the scenery, he does it well. We also happen to meet another couple. Let's see what's the landlord to them. And I guess this one person is sort of doing some IT work, spying on people. Girlfriend, I guess, is sort of a cam girl. Also, we meet a couple of newspaper magnates played by David Paymer and Ed Asner of all people. We also meet a local reporter who's been sniffing up dirt on Felicity in several other places. And Kim Dickens, who is having a blast of a time here with this role, is the local police chief who wants to become mayor on the road to being governor. We also meet the U.S. Senator from Texas, played by Enrique Marquion, his chief of staff, who hired Allegra all these years ago. Allegra sort of does the dirty work for people. Kim Dickens is sort of like, I'm not going to make those type of deals. And the chief of staff says, yeah, come back to me when you have more dirt on someone so I can make that type of deal to help become mayor, because the current mayor of this town, to be honest, is an idiot. Apparently, the biggest difference between the novel and this TV show is that the Rosario Dawson character in the novel is a man. It doesn't make any significant difference to me. At least at one point, there's a funeral, and basically Rosario Dawson is like, yeah, I buried my parents when I was 17, now I'm 38. And one person asks, is there a difference? He's, yes, I'm much more jaded. A lot of this happens to be, a lot of the series, once it goes on further, happens to be the dealings of these people, how they can one-up each other. And also the fact is, at least in one episode, and basically in one episode, the Rosario Dawson and the Spivey character are stuck in the desert. They're miraculously rescued by a camel. And obviously the last episode here deals with the fact that Allegra is doing all the things she can to knock the dominoes so that she can emerge victorious. So if you are looking for something to watch, if you're bored, I would highly recommend that you watch Briarpatch. So folks, Briarpatch, have you seen this series? What did you think? Please put everything in the comment box below here, folks. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, enrich yourself with knowledge. I'm at Michael Richard Reviews 2. I'll see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.